exciting. We got a special guest with us today.
Hello.
Yeah, Dustin.
We got Dustin. Dustin Slab with us today.
No.
I'm going Slab. Dustin Slab.
No, that's not.
But
No, we can though because it's comic related. So we do Slab. No, Slab.
but you know, it's funny because he's not really into slabs. He loves raw books.
You're all about just reading
I
the
tend
raw
to
books?
crack any slabs that I get.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, he does.
Oh my
Yes.
God! Sacrilege! No.
What? No, I'm gonna stay out of that.
Hey, when you're a major in the military, have all that money come in, you can
That's
do what
true.
you want.
You can do whatever the hell you want to.
Rolling in it. Right?
Rolling in the dough, baby. Hey everybody, this is obviously Smitty.
Be
We
man.
got Bernie, and we have our special guest, Dustin.
Hello.
And this is Couch Comics and Commentary. This is a special edition. We're doing an interview with Dustin here on his new book that he's going to be kickstarting off here
Yep.
real soon.
It's actually going on right now.
Yep.
It's actually going on right now.
Yep. So I'm going to turn it over to Bernie, and we're going to talk to Dustin a little bit about his book and what the premise is, and how we can get involved in this book, which I think is a huge thing,
Yes.
if we can. So over to you, B man.
So, of course, I've known Dustin now for a few years. He actually, you're coming from Washington. Is that where you're coming from? Was it Washington?
I was from Iowa.
But where were you stationed at that time?
Yeah, I came from public health school, basically.
Okay.
To here.
Okay, I remember getting the first text, message on Facebook, and hey, I'm looking for a comic store. And we got you hooked up, and that's how I met you. You came in, and it's like, oh, it's Dustin. We knew you like months before you ever walked through the door. That is the cool thing about social media.
It is.
But of course, let me do this before, because you aren't versed in the opening. So this is the Dragons Lair YouTube channel,
Yes.
and
By now, if you're not subscribed, shame on you.
yes, subscribe, like,
should be.
share, comment. We always like comments. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
So let me get that out of the way, of course, because you forgot that. But
First of all, I don't need an introduction. Okay, it's me. Everybody knows who I am.
All right.
Everybody loves me.
So we're gonna go back to Dustin here. So Dustin, you got a new project through Kickstarter going on right now. You got about 9 or 10 days left, I believe it is.
9 days, yes.
9 days, and I can always see your posts, and I kept meaning to let me go and do this, and I said, I got Dustin coming in today. I'm gonna be able to say that I backed it. I went ahead and backed it because I've been meaning to, all this stuff going on with me, and I said, you know what, Dustin coming in, it's a big reminder. So when they looked it up, put my backing for you guys. So always backing indies, but especially local people and people that I know. So you got the new book coming out. I'm gonna let you tell us what the name of it is and
Sure.
a little bit.
Sure. It's Tales from Kara Prime. And basically, it is an anthology project that collects a bunch of characters from Brian Silverback's collected universe.
Okay.
So his vision for the project is to not only bring in different creators to kind of do little stories for each of these characters, which, by the way, there's like 18 to 20 stories right now, depending on how many backers we get.
Wow.
There's 18 to 20 5 to 6 page little short stories for these characters. So his ultimate goal, is that you have independent creators all sitting in the same artist's row, and you have this depository basically where all of these independent characters that these artists own the IP for can kind of come into this world and kind of interact, do little stories, and then just kind of go on their way.
Gotcha.
But it kind of collects this talent and creativity in an overarching world.
Kind of like what Image was doing when they
Right.
came out with
When
the
the-
seven guys,
the seven guys.
Jim Lee,
Yeah.
Rob Liefeld, all those guys, and there was some it was cool, but it was of course that was in the '90s, a
But-
bigger scale.
But if you notice, though, at Image, what Dustin's saying, they never did that really with Image.
No, they didn't.
Savage Dragon didn't go into the Spawn universe, things like that. So I think that's a good premise.
Yes.
Because you don't see that with a lot of other companies.
For sure. And I remember, was it the 10-year or 20 year? I can't even remember how long it's been. But they were going to have that big thing. I know you're a big Spawn fan. So
Sure.
what was that? The big cross there? It Image something. What was
they
it?
had what is it? Image United.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're gonna Image United. It was something a 5-6 issue thing.
They did
Every
2
artist was in.
issues.
They did 2 issues, and then it just like fizzled.
Who knows what happened
Yeah.
to it?
So that's kind of cool.
So,
So
who is this through, or do you have a publisher in mind? Or-
Brian's talking with publishers, I believe, but ultimately, obviously it depends on how successful the Kickstarter is.
Right.
It depends on what publishers are looking for. I know he has some single issue floppies lined up. He's got a couple that have already gotten all of the art and lettering done.
Okay.
So there's more to come for Tales from Kara Prime. And hopefully I'll still be a part of it down the road.
Yeah.
Hopefully people like the story. I'm only a 5-page story and this is my first writing project.
Oh, nice.
My first published writing project. So
Well, congrats.
yeah, I appreciate
So
it.
far,
I'm
yeah,
excited.
that's good.
so who's doing the art for your story?
So JT Malloy did the art for mine.
Okay.
And he's an independent creator out of Chicago, and he does Sapphire Spectre.
Cool.
Oh,
Is
okay.
his IP. So yeah, I mean, check out his work because he's incredible, and I was super excited to get him. But it's one of those things where Brian just put a feeler out and was like, "Hey, I want to do this thing. Who wants to help out?" It's just for fun. We're trying to build something here. If we happen to make money, we happen to make money, and we'll
Yeah.
share it all.
Well, that kind of goes along with the Facebook page that you're really big part of. If not, are you one of the admin for make comics fun again?
Yeah, make comic book collecting fun again. I'm a moderator, but yeah, I mean we're part of the admin team.
That thing has grown.
Yeah, it's busy. It's kind of COVID kind of kicked us back a little bit. We're not
yeah.
able to do as much of the charitable stuff that we were doing as far as getting coloring books out into the children's hospitals and things.
That was
But
really cool.
Yeah.
hopefully that'll all start to pick back up.
Are you looking to reach out to any of the local artists here for the book, or are you just kind of keeping it?
Brian
All
ran
over the
all
place.
of that.
Okay.
I mean, I was responsible for grabbing an artist for my own
Right.
project, and I was fortunate enough to, in this collector world that we live in, we make friends with people. I mean,
Yeah.
and you mentioned the social media aspect of things, and I've only been collecting for 4 years, so the fact that I've been able to accumulate as many friends that I have, artists and creators, it's just
amazing. Yeah.
it's incredible. So I've known JT for 3.5 of those 4 years. He's one of the earlier artists that I kind of latched onto. I was
Yeah.
like, I love what you're doing. And I reached out to him, and he was totally down to do the art.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
was really excited about it.
So that's how you kind of met him through social media.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've met in person at C2E2 last year
Okay.
for the first time. But yeah, I mean, we just, you interact with somebody on social media so often, and you meet them finally in person, and you just sit down and you're like the best of friends. You've known each other for so
Yeah.
long. And it's like you just rattle off and you roll, and it was awesome to
Yeah.
finally meet him in person.
It's definitely. I mean, very few people can find other people like that, where you can just meet them and you just click, and you can bounce ideas back and forth. And I mean, Bernie doesn't have any friends like that at all.
Not at all.
No, that's what, he's got a ton of those kind of friends. But I mean, so how do people find the project on Kickstarter?
Sure, it's easy. You can look it up on the app, the Kickstarter app, just Tales from Kara Prime, or you can probably just put Kara Prime in; it'll probably come up. Otherwise,
Tara or Kara?
Kara,
So-
Kerra.
Okay. Good deal.
So Kilo Echo Romeo Alpha.
There you go. For all of us military people out there.
So yeah, but otherwise you can just type in www.karaprime.com and it'll pop up.
Oh, even better.
It'll be
And
just
we'll
a direct
definitely
link.
put some links in the video as well
I
for
appreciate
the
it.
Kickstarter and for the.
Yeah, we'll have to get that in. We'll
Yeah.
get that in pretty soon because you got, let's say, 9 days left of it.
Yeah.
And I
9 days
think
left.
you're over the limit right now. You guys.
Yeah, we're funded.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it is exciting. It was a whirlwind. We ended up funded probably within the first 48 hours.
Oh,
It was a
wow.
little more than the first day.
That's awesome.
Woo!
Which is good. I mean, I was a little concerned. I mean, it's a bigger book, obviously. We kind of talked about how many stories are in there. So there's 110 plus pages, which makes the price, in that 25
Right.
range, which, is a little on the high end for a Kickstarter, but based off of all the creators that you're going to get and all of the different stories, different art, different everything, I think it's really well worth the sticker price.
Yeah, for
Now,
sure.
for levels of Kickstarter, you guys are doing original art, things like that, or
There are some original art levels, and that's pretty much it. We're not doing a bunch of variants or anything
Right.
to vary it. So, but we do have there are some original art levels that Brian's put up there himself.
and retail levels as well.
There is a retail
Okay.
level,
There we go.
absolutely. But yeah, I mean, so
That's
all of
awesome.
our stretch goals are all backer based because the intent on that is to get this into as many hands as possible.
Yeah, for sure.
So doing that, we were just about to our second stretch goal of 135 backers,
Oh wow, that's
and that
awesome.
opens up another story from Andrew. I can't remember his name, but that we're adding stories on some of
So
these
the more
stretch
backers
goals.
you get, the more artists you can reach out to and get more stories in.
Basically, yeah. So,
That's good.
but the book
Sounds
is
like-
done. It's it's lettered. It's edited. It's ready to go to print. So that's personally, I mean, one of the reasons why I haven't done anything with Rabbit Rhino Comics is because I'm not to that level. I mean, I've been involved in Kickstarters that
Yeah.
have basically had to build based off of what they make, and then you wait for 2 years for things, and that's just tough on a backer.
It is. It is.
So yeah, I'm glad to be involved in projects that are already complete.
Yeah, definitely.
It sounds like that. Basically, this is just about, like you said, the money's nothing. It's just about
Absolutely.
having fun and getting your name out there. Especially this being your first actual writing.
Especially for me. I mean, it
Yeah.
might be different for some of the
Yeah.
other creators that are
Like,
involved.
this
you
is
know.
my first story.
And we've got Jonathan Hedrick, Stefano Cardoselli, Evan Pozios. I mean, scout names.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
that are publishing on a regular
yeah.
basis.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So I mean, just me, little old me, who have never done anything
Name's
like this.
gonna be in the book.
Yeah.
Name's gonna be in the book with your story. I mean,
Exactly.
there's nothing better than that.
And it's a fun story.
Yeah.
I did Blacksmith was my character, and yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed writing for the character, and it was just fun.
Is it a character that you've had for a while in your mind, or is it something you?
No,
create-
this
when did
it's
you
one
get
of Brian's characters.
Okay.
So he sent a list out and was like, okay, these are the characters that we want to include in this anthology. Go ahead and kind of just pick your list.
Okay,
Or
that's
pick a
cool.
character. So I took a look at his yearbook, which was the Kara Prime handbook,
Mm-hmm.
and you just kind of thumbed through that and looked at each of the characters. And for whatever reason, the blacksmith character kind of spoke to me, and I felt like I could really write a fun story to that.
Pretty much hits on for me too. Me being a smith and all.
But Brian was great about it. I mean, he gave all of the creators a lot of leeway, a lot of levity in how they wanted
Well,
to
that's good.
create things. So I added a sidekick that wasn't part of the character's original story. I kind of changed the character's original story a little bit, but I mean, there was some give and take. I
That's good.
had other things involved that Brian didn't want to involve.
Any hints as to the sidekick? What kind of sidekick? we're
Sure, I
talking?
mean, he's a peregrine falcon that's named
Oh, nice.
Swift.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
And the reason I created a sidekick was because I've only got 5 pages to tell a story. So rather than just have this lone character kind of going through this story and in order to create some sort of background for what's going on, having to do like thought bubbles or anything.
Yeah.
You give him a sidekick and he's got someone he
He's
can
got somebody to
communicate
interact
with,
yeah.
someone to bounce ideas off of. It just helps propel the story a little bit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think that's cool. Reminds me of Lady in the Hawk.
Of course, it's a
Movie Lady in the
falcon,
Hawk,
so
yeah.
right up your alley with a veterinarian thing. You're able to
Uh-huh.
put some stuff in there. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, but yeah,
Well, cool,
Blacksmith
man.
is my story. So
Well, that's
There you
awesome.
go.
Definitely gonna check that out. And speaking of falcons, I know we go back and forth during the season. So instead of just always talking about comics, we're gonna bring something else in because he's got the better of me the last couple of years. But now, I'm a Cowboys fan. Dustin is an Eagles fan. So, what do you think about what's going on with your Eagles? The quick rundown.
I don't know. Well, initially we had the 6th pick in the draft.
Yes.
We traded back, which is fine with me because they were talking about taking that Kyle Pitts kid from Florida. Never heard of the guy until draft season came around. Even during the football season. I had not heard of the kid. So, I mean, he may be the next greatest tight end since, whoever, but I don't know.
Since
So,
Gronkowski, pretty much.
but, yeah, so I wasn't too excited about that pick. There's a lot that I think the Eagles need,
Yeah,
especially offensively. So,
it's actually funny that when we talk about their draft now, it's our teams at NFC East, they're all like drafted like right there all together. So I guess because we all sucked last year.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I always banter about my Cowboys, and you guys come back with the Eagles, and it's always a fun thing. Last question: what do you think of Jalen Hurts? The whole thing with Carson Wentz being shipped off. I mean,
yeah, I'm a Carson Wentz fan. I felt like he could turn things around. I felt like he kind of got the raw end of the deal there, given the fact that we couldn't protect him for two years. So,
and the fact
but Jalen did come in and make things happen with that mobility. So I'm excited about Jalen as well.
Well, I know it's funny because a couple years ago they traded up to get Carson Wentz. And then last year in the draft, we were watching it, and also in the second round, they took Jalen Hurts. So and I was like, I'm going, the writing's on the wall.
Well, I mean, we needed a backup, but still, that's an early round pick for a backup.
Exactly.
A relatively known entity. So, I don't know. We'll see how it all pans out.
As we'll see if our whole division is any better this year. That's the big thing.
It
right?
can't get much worse.
No, it can't. Oh no, it was horrible last year. When the Washington Redskins they made 7-7 on that last game or whatever it was crazy. The record. So man, Dustin, we enjoyed having you for sure. Definitely check out the Kickstarter. We're gonna post all the names stuff like that.
Links, yep.
And man, I know you're leaving here pretty soon, like we talked about. It was your duty here at Fort Bragg. Vietnam is about to be gone. So, last question: how has your experience been here in Fort Bragg, Vietnam, as we call it here?
Well, I can tell you that I've really enjoyed the job that I have.
Well, that's good.
And that's ultimately what matters the most. It's been better the last year because I haven't had kids in the school system, which, we've just had issues with the schools in North Carolina from when my daughter was at Camp Lejeune to when my son was here. I mean, there was any semester the last 2 years Caden was in high school, there was at least one class where he was teaching the teacher something. There was one math class where he was basically teaching the class how to do some of the math.
Wow.
And I'm like, this isn't how this is supposed to work.
North Carolina, get your stuff together.
But, otherwise, it's been all right. I was hesitant. I wasn't worried about coming back to North Carolina because of the experiences we had in Camp Lejeune. But, yeah, like I said, the job's made everything worthwhile. The job's been terrific. So
Cool. Well, again, enjoyed having you on here.
Yeah, for sure.
Look forward to reading your story. I'm interested in, like I said, reading everybody's, but I'm looking forward to reading your story.
Well, hopefully you enjoy it.
So, well, that's it, guys. Hope you liked the video. Definitely like, share, and tell all your friends about it. And definitely hit Kickstarter up and back these guys, man. All right, that's it. Have a great day. And as we always say here, it's all about the comic community. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks.